There are good NBA players who put up good numbers. Then, there are players who put up insane numbers and make you feel like you're watching a masterclass every time they touch the ball. Luka Doncic, he's not just in that second group, he's the blueprint. 5 All-NBA first teams by the age of 26, that's not just greatness, that's generational.
Their hard-earned money to come watch him play once a year. Doncic, showtime. Wow, we are in
This season, despite injuries, team changes, and everything else that should have slowed him down, Luka's averaging nearly 28 points, 8 boards, and 7 assists a game. And he's doing it in a way that makes absolutely no sense. He's not the fastest, he's not the most athletic, but somehow he's always in control, like he's playing the game 2 seconds ahead of everyone else. I've watched a lot of basketball, but I've never seen anything quite like this. And the deeper you look, the more ridiculous it gets. And honestly, I can't stop watching. Luka Doncic didn't just enter the NBA and make an instant impact. He punched it in the face from day one. But before he was breaking ankles in the States, he was already outplaying grown men on one of the biggest stages in Europe. Born in Slovenia, Luka grew up in a basketball-crazy corner of Europe, where the game isn't just a sport, it's a way of life. For Luka, the court was always where he felt at home, and from the moment he picked up a ball, it was clear. This kid wasn't just playing to play, he was playing to entertain. His style, his flair, and everything about his game spoke to a future of greatness. By the time he was a teenager, Luka wasn't just dominating his age group, he was holding his own against guys 3 or 4 years older. In a small country like Slovenia, producing NBA caliber players isn't common. But Luka, he wasn't just one of the best prospects Slovenia had ever seen, he was one of the best talents Europe had seen in years. And it didn't take long for Europe's most prestigious club, Real Madrid, to come calling. By 13, Luka was packing his bags, leaving his family behind and moving to Spain to join their youth academy on a 5-year contract. For most kids, that would be a tough adjustment, but Luka, he made it look easy. Just like he had in Slovenia, Luka came in and dominated. MVPs, championships, he led Real Madrid's youth teams to the top of Europe's club circuit. And by 15, he wasn't just playing with kids anymore. He was practicing with Real Madrid's senior team. By the age of 16, Doncic had already earned the nickname El Niño Maravilla, the Wonder Boy. And it wasn't just for show. He was already suiting up for Real Madrid's senior team in the EuroLeague, taking on seasoned professionals, holding his own against the best of the best. But Luka's time in Europe wasn't just impressive, it was historic. In 2018, at just 19 years old, he led Real Madrid to a EuroLeague championship, averaging 16 points, 4.9 rebounds, and 4.3 assists per game. He also took home both the EuroLeague MVP and Final Four MVP awards, making him the youngest player ever to take those honors. At that point, it was clear. Luka wasn't just the best European prospect of his generation, he was one of the best prospects in the world. But even with all of that success in Europe, the NBA wasn't exactly a done deal. Scouts, still skeptical about his athleticism and speed, spread narratives questioning Luka's ceiling. Was he too slow? Not explosive enough? And let's be real, there was some bias against international players too.
one-on-one with Doncic, step back, three-pointer for the game. You eat that! Oh my word!
But despite all the chatter, the time had come for Luka to cross the Atlantic. In 2018, the Atlanta Hawks selected him 3rd overall, only to trade him to the Dallas Mavericks for Trae Young and a future draft pick. And from the second Luka stepped onto the NBA court, he made sure every single one of those skeptics looked wrong. He was better, way better than anyone had imagined. Luka's rookie season was nothing short of spectacular. He averaged 21.2 points, 7.8 rebounds, and 6 assists per game. But it wasn't just the numbers. Luka's ability to control the tempo of the game, his scoring, and his playmaking all stood out, earning him the NBA Rookie of the Year award in a dominant fashion. In his second season, Luka didn't just improve. He took his game to another level. His scoring jumped to nearly 29 points per game, and he quickly became one of the league's best passers and rebounders among guards. That year, he earned his first All-NBA first-team selection. And from that point on, Luka became one of the best all-round players in the league. a perennial MVP candidate year after year. By 2025, Luka had racked up 5 All-NBA first-team selections and 5 NBA All-Star appearances, and led the Mavericks to multiple deep playoff runs, including an NBA Finals appearance in 23-24. At just 26 years old, the future looked incredibly bright for both Luka and the Dallas Mavericks franchise. Then, on a Saturday night in February, ESPN's Shams Charania dropped a bombshell that stunned everyone. The Dallas Mavericks were trading Luka Doncic to the Lakers in exchange for Anthony Davis and a first-round pick. It was so unbelievable that Charania had to follow up with, "Yes, this is real." To understand why this trade was so shocking, you have to first grasp what Luka Doncic is on the basketball court. The truth is, defining Luka is nearly impossible because he embodies so many skills and abilities that draw comparisons to both current and former superstars.
7 on the shot clock. Luka on the drive, got it to go.
Take James Harden for example. The parallels are undeniable. Both were and are isolation-heavy lead guards who thrive on playing at their own pace. Luka and Harden are as lethal at distribution as they are at scoring, creating mismatches in the pick and roll when attacking the basket. Their methods for using screens are eerily similar. Both can score from the mid-range or throw lobs to cutters or players in the dunker spot. And then there's their body type. Big, powerful point guards with subtle athleticism. Specifically, their rare deceleration ability, staying in control while slamming on the brakes and changing direction with the ball in their hands. It's no coincidence that Luka's game often mirrors Harden's in style. The crafty ways Luka draws contact when driving to the basket, those moves are straight from Harden's bag of tricks. The footwork too, especially for those step-back threes that Luka has become known for. No other stars in the league play more similarly to each other than these two. But here's where it gets even crazier. Luka isn't just a copy of Harden. He's got a bit of every superstar in him. Even LeBron James, his current teammate, shares some common ground with Luka. While LeBron's game is built around supreme athleticism and a superhuman ability to process every strategy imaginable, Luka relies more on his extraordinary skill and savvy.
Over the Lakers. Reeves, Doncic, LeBron!
That said, Luka comes closer to LeBron's play style than anyone ever has. And it's not just because of his size or passing. Both Luka and LeBron are elite passers with incredible control over the game's pace. They create havoc for defenses, often putting them in impossible positions. Both Luka and LeBron are strategic, studying the game and remembering tendencies to exploit in future plays. Whether it's a no-look pass or one of those impossible creative assists, they both dominate in the passing game, making plays for their teammates while looking for their own opportunities to score. Some might argue Luka is more hardened than LeBron, but with the physicality and force with which Luka drives, he also reminds me more of a LeBron in his prime, minus the insane athleticism. But, as crazy as it may sound to some, anytime a player with the size of a forward like Luka Doncic is used exclusively at point guard, you can't ignore the influence of Magic Johnson's Hall of Fame career. Magic's success before his forced retirement helped make big point guards the new standard. So it's no surprise that Luka shares that Magic-like vision. The way Luka sees the floor and plays with flair is almost a mirror image of Showtime. The no-look passes, the full-court bounce passes, the behind-the-back cross-court lasers, the flashy finishes, and the circus layups. All of these are trademarks of both Magic and Luka. They make the game beautiful, unpredictable, and, most importantly, impossible to look away from. That's why the word Luka Magic works so well. But it's not just Magic that Luka channels. There are echoes of Magic's longtime rival, Larry Bird, in his game as well. While Bird wasn't quite the ball handler Luka or Magic were, his court vision at his size and creativity are similar to Luka's. Both Bird and Luka have this rare ability to read the floor and make the right play.
Luka hangs in the air, it's Hayes!
And let's talk about shot making. Bird's fadeaways, turnaround jumpers, and off-balance shots were pure wizardry. And Luka's bag is just as deep, with even more range. One-legged step-backs, high-arching floaters, and impossible angles. It's the same magic. Both players turn low-percentage looks into automatic buckets. But it wouldn't be fair to ignore Luka's connections to Europe's greatest players. Starting with Dirk Nowitzki. Dirk was the smoothest shooting 7-footer the league had ever seen. And while Luka leans more towards the Hall of Fame point guards who used to set Dirk up, a supercharged mix of Steve Nash and Jason Kidd, he also has elements of Dirk's game. The one-legged fadeaway, the footwork, the confidence in tight spaces. It's all there. Then there's Nikola Jokic. Though they're contemporaries, the way Luka and Jokic control the game sets them apart from everyone else in the league. Both are heliocentric engines, dictating pace and rhythm, but from different spots on the floor. Jokic orchestrates from the high post and the paint, while Luka controls the chaos from the perimeter. Regardless of where they are, both bend the game to their will in ways few have ever done before. That said, when you have a player as gifted as Luka Doncic, the numbers and records are bound to be spectacular. This season, despite dealing with injuries and transitioning to a new team, Luka is averaging 27.9 points, 8.2 rebounds, and 7.7 assists per game, an all-NBA caliber stat line. But let's break it down and start with the obvious, scoring. Luka's 27.9 points per game rank in the 99th percentile league-wide. That alone places him in elite company. But what's even more impressive is how he's doing it. His true shooting percentage sits at 58.5%, ranking him above 65% of players. His effective field goal percentage is 53.1%, right around the league average.
Guarded by Karl Anthony Towns. Doncic trying to shake him. Towns staying with him. Tough shot.
Now, those numbers may not scream ultra efficient, but here's the thing. Luka's game has never been about robotic efficiency. It's about control. He doesn't rely on catch and shoot threes or easy transition buckets. He thrives in the half court, often creating something out of nothing against set defenses. For someone carrying that much offensive load, those efficiency numbers, they're quietly elite. But where Luka really separates himself is in how much he elevates the players around him. According to the mixed teamwork value metric, which measures how much a player's presence swings the positive margin for his team, Luka ranks in the 96th percentile. When he was on the floor, the Mavericks performed significantly better, a plus 8.9 in net rating compared to when he sat. And if you think that impact is limited to Dallas, just look at his short time in Los Angeles. In just a few weeks with the Lakers, Luka's presence has boosted their offense by plus 15.7 points per 100 possessions, pushing the net rating up by an absurd plus 9.3 when he's on the floor. That's instant system redefinition. The Lakers went from solid to surgical with Luka running the show. He didn't just fit into a new team, he rewrote its offensive identity. That's what happens when you're the gravitational center of everything your team does. Now, let's talk about his ball handling and playmaking. Luka ranks in the 98th percentile for ball handling, which is insane when you consider how often he's orchestrating the offense solo. He's posting an assist rate of 34.15%, good for the 97th percentile. That means over a third of his teammates' field goals come directly from Luka's passes when he's on the court. So Luka isn't just stuffing the stat sheet, he's controlling the tempo, creating advantages on every possession, bending defenses and making average players look like stars.
Luka trying to get around one, then two. That will count if it goes!
These numbers don't just prove his value, they expose how rare it is. He's not a cog in the machine, he is the machine. However, the wildest thing is that Luka is completely redefining what a franchise cornerstone looks like in the modern NBA. Over the course of his career, Luka is averaging 28.6 points, 8.6 rebounds, and 8.2 assists. Those aren't just good numbers, they're all-time great numbers. Not great for a young player, all-time. Think about it, he's basically a walking triple-double every night for more than half a decade. Scoring 28.6 a game is elite by any standard. But Luka's impact goes far beyond putting the ball in the basket. What makes him special is he's doing it while orchestrating an entire offense. His 8.2 assists per game don't just show he's a good passer, they reflect how he runs everything. Every single possession flows through him, and when you dig into the advanced metrics, things get even wilder. Let's talk about player efficiency rating. Luka's career PER is 25.5. That's not just good, that's superstar level.
Goon left his feet. It's Dinwiddie into Luka. Yeah, baby!
The league average is 15, and anything above 20 usually means you're an all-star. Luka's comfortably above that threshold, and he's been there for 7 straight years. Plus, he's relentlessly productive. His box plus minus is even crazier. Luka has a career BPM of 7.6, putting him among the greatest to ever play the game. A BPM above 5 is MVP level. Luka's is at 7.6, This tells you how much better his team is with him on the court per 100 possessions. But Luka has 56.5 win shares in just 7 seasons. That's a direct reflection of how often he contributes to wins, whether through scoring, passing, rebounding, or simply carrying his team to victory. What's even more mind-blowing is how many of those wins come offensively. 36.3 offensive win shares to be exact. That's a guy single-handedly generating offense night in and night out.
Closeout. Luka maneuvers away from the closeout.
And all of this is happening while he carries a high career usage rate of 35.5%. That's not just high, that's historically high. We're talking heliocentric offense here. Luka doesn't just play in the offense, he is the offense. No one in the NBA has the ball in their hands more than Luka, except maybe Jokic. He leads the league in touches per game year after year. And unlike other high-usage players who can struggle with efficiency, Luka finds a way to balance control with production. But when you now shift the conversation to records Luka holds, it's a whole new ballgame. First up, let's talk about his triple-double dominance. Luka has racked up 92 career triple-doubles, 82 in the regular season, and 10 in the playoffs. That places him 7th on the NBA's all-time triple-double list. But what makes this even crazier is the speed at which he's done it. He hit 50 triple-doubles in 278 games, making him the second fastest to reach that mark, behind only Oscar Robertson, who did it in 111 games. Plus, he's also the first player to ever record 6 consecutive 30-point triple-doubles. If that's not enough, Luka also holds the record for the most consecutive 35-point triple-doubles, with 5 straight. But the insanity doesn't stop there. Luka is one of only 3 players in NBA history to record a 60-point triple-double, a feat he achieved in 2022 against the New York Knicks. 60 points, 29 rebounds, and 10 assists. That 60-20-10 game wasn't just a personal best for Luka, it was a stat line so absurd, it felt like something you'd see in a video game. And let's not forget that Luka has recorded a triple-double against all 30 NBA teams, making him one of only 4 players to ever do so, joining LeBron James, Russell Westbrook, and Nikola Jokic in that exclusive club. Now, let's talk about scoring, because Luka's ability to put up points is just as mind-blowing as his playmaking. His career-high scoring game is an insane 73 points, which he dropped on January 26, 2024 against the Atlanta Hawks.
Before the quick hoop by Bogdanovic, and up for 3, and in for 3!
That ties for 4th most points ever recorded in a single NBA game, putting him in the same conversation as Wilt Chamberlain and Kobe Bryant. But Luka's not a one-hit wonder when it comes to high-scoring games. He's one of only 9 players in NBA history with multiple 60-point games, with that 60-point triple-double against the Knicks being his other entry into the club. And the craziest part? His scoring consistency is just as wild. He's 3rd all-time in points per game with an average of 28.6. He's also 2nd all-time in playoff points per game, averaging 30.9 over 50 career playoff games. Plus, he has 8 playoff games with 40 or more points. Those are just a few of Luka's records, and at just 26 years old, he's got plenty of time to add even more to what is already a surefire Hall of Fame career. But the greatest joy is seeing all of this unfold with a sheer eye test. And over, Luka has shown he can do almost anything on the offensive side of the game. He controls every aspect of a possession, not through speed or athleticism, but through timing, angles, and decision-making. Luka doesn't rush. He plays at his own pace, always calm, always reading. That's what makes his game so hard to stop. He's never in a hurry. He's always in control. His footwork and fakes are elite. Luka doesn't need to blow by defenders when he can get them off balance with a hesitation or a subtle shoulder fake. He'll jab step, pause, then attack with a Euro step or a pivot that opens up just enough space.
5 to shoot, Doncic behind the back. Here's the blow by, the floater, it's gone!
And if defenders overplay the drive, he counters with a step-back 3 that's become one of the most effective in the league. It's smooth, quick, and reliable, especially in late clock situations when everyone knows it's coming and still can't stop it. In the pick and roll, he's even better. He knows when to drag the defender, when to reject the screen, when to hit the roller, and when to take it himself. If you drop, he pulls up. If you hedge, he splits. If you switch, he goes to the post or isolates. There's no coverage he can't solve. When matched up against smaller guards, Luka uses his size advantage with patience. He'll back them down, wait for help to arrive, and either score or find the open man. He's not in a rush. He plays with intention and always makes the high percentage read. His vision and passing IQ are just as sharp. He sees passing lanes before they open, hitting corner shooters with cross-court lasers, or finding lobs in tight windows. He can make every pass in the book, skips, hooks, no-looks, and quick swing passes. And most importantly, he also knows how to use his body to create contact. Luka draws fouls with pump fakes, angles, and timing. He doesn't shy away from contact. In fact, he welcomes it. He finishes through defenders, keeps a strong grip on the ball in traffic, and absorbs hits like a much bigger player. His body control lets him finish around the rim and hold up against more physical defenders. Luka doesn't just dominate, he does it meticulously, possession by possession, with a level of control and variety that makes him one of the most complete offensive players in basketball. And the best part? You never get tired of watching this Luka magic unfold. The 60-point triple-double, the career-high 73 points, the game winners against Boston, the bang-bang buzzer beater against the Clippers, and that circus game winner against the Grizzlies. This man is different, and that's all there is to it. Luka Doncic is definitely doing things we've never seen before, and he's just getting started. If this is what he looks like at 26, I don't even want to imagine what year 10 Luka will be like. So, what do you think? Is Luka already the best offensive player in the league? Drop a comment below and let me know what play made you obsessed with him. And as always, like, subscribe, and hit that bell for more deep dives into NBA's most insane talents.